to this point in our hunt, there's a lot of times when we had spooked animals. You know, some of them were shown, none of them were really caught on camera, but on at least 3 occasions we spooked. They were at least mule deer, if not elk. Sometimes we weren't sure. So that, along with the fact that it was hot, I mean, really hot that day. It was one of the hottest days, the last day that morning. So we figured, well, they're definitely going to be on water. And that's something we found out for sure, that we definitely can't survive where there's not water. So those 2 reasons. And then also that day, that morning, when we did hear a bugle, when we were chasing that bugle, and we still don't know how we had run into it, because we thought we were right on top of that elk in the morning. We figured that he had to go up to that peak, to the peak of the mountain that we hunted, the evening hunt as well. So kind of all those things combined, that put together our game plan. There was a major peak and some creeks coming off of it, and then an adjacent peak, and we were going to sit not far from the top of this other peak, just down below on the water, set up like a whitetail hunt and try to catch them on some heavy crossings. So that was our plan for the evening.
My uncle had also said, hunt water. Since we're going in the early season, water's your best shot because they're not going to be rutting yet.
Right. We weren't getting any responses from them. It was the first week of September. We never got a response from a call that we sent, ever. It was just too early. They weren't really rutting yet, so we got sat down like 3 p.m. and we were sit on the same creek, but just about 100 yards apart from each other, and just to cover multiple crossings. And then, like, this is our last night, last ditch effort. You know, we're going to set up, be quiet, at least give ourselves the opportunity if something did come through.
Then we hear.
Oh yeah. And then, oh man, you could see the disappointment in our eyes in the kind of the post interview of that interaction. But it's public land. That's going to happen. You're going to run into people, but
it's going to happen all the time. I mean, we ran into 3 or 4 people throughout the entire week, maybe even more.
Right.
And so that bumped us where we hunted next, which was that local peak, that adjacent peak, and then on top of there we saw a tent, and so that moved us to where Ian thought would be a great place to go, which was the saddle.
Yeah, between that local peak and the main peak, there was a nice little saddle, and actually on the ride to Colorado, we were just looking up videos, and we watched one where they said hunt the saddle. So I was like, oh look, there's a saddle. So I set up on one side with Dirk, and Cooper sat up on the other side, and we figured we're probably 150 yards apart, so we can get basically anything that walks between us.
Right. And at this point, I mean, it's getting dark at I don't know, what, 7:30. And at that point, it was like 6:30. You know, maybe 6:15. But there was not much light left. You know, and really we're like, it was our last evening, so every step of the way we're doing our best. We're trying. We don't really know, but we're trying. So I'm like, well, it's the last hour. Let's go set up. And so we did. We set up on that saddle, and just wanted to give ourselves the last chance we had. So the whole time we were in Colorado, we never laid eyes on an elk until the last half an hour of the last day. And that elk was not alive I didn't see him alive for more than 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Eye to eye with him for probably what was like 2 seconds, but it felt like a minute or 2. So, you know, it was just, that last day was a smaller version of what the whole trip was every day there was some obstacle that was unforeseen that was thrown our way, and we just had to roll with it. It just, every day there was something. I mean, and then maybe what wasn't shown good enough is when we were the unit that we meant to be in, we hiked all the way up into this place to seclude ourselves from the rest of the hunters. And we run into some guys up there, and they say, oh yeah, we hiked in there. We were parked on this 2-track. It's like 3/4 of a mile from here. How did you get up here? Yeah.
we hiked
We're
the
like,
canyon.
we hiked through the canyon.
And they're like, oh, we thought only horses could make it through that.
Right. So it was just things like that every day, and that last day was just a smaller version of what the trip was.
We saw those outfitters and we thought, well, this is good news and bad news. Good news, there's people here, that means there's elk here. Bad news, there's people here, we're gonna run into people. And
Right.
we did.
The presence of a guide means probably in the ballpark, which is the first confirmation on our elk hunting abilities that we had the whole trip. So when you think you get it done, you know,
And you're celebrating.
You cel-
and you're dancing.
dancing and celebrating and calling my uncle, and he put it, you know, he put it right when he said, enjoy a sleepless night in the truck, because man, I didn't sleep much, you know, because I knew I hit him good. I knew I hit him close to that shoulder, but you know, he was moving. He was moving when I shot him, which is not a shot I normally take, but after that whole week and everything leading up to it, just maybe immaturity or just, you know, lack of being on a hunt like that, but I let it go. So, and then we see the arrow, and then the arrow confirmed, okay, there was some lung blood on there, and then there was guts on there too, so that pretty clearly spells out what happened. You know, quarter two, one lung through the diaphragm, through the guts, on the backside. Thank God Dirk found that arrow, because we really wouldn't have had instruction
For that
on
evening.
what to do for that evening. So then call Uncle Bo, and you know, he's like, get out of there, and we do. And us and our, I don't know why we thought it was going to go smoothly that morning, because nothing else had.
Hubris.
Hubris for sure.
Like, finally, it's gonna go good.
No. Wrong.
No, yeah. So we get up there and we're like, oh, we're gonna find him in the first 10 minutes. As soon as lights on, we're gonna find him. So I mean, we started back up that mountain.
At like 4:30.
Yeah, dark, pitch.
We
black.
wanted to get to the top of the mountain when first light comes up.
As early as we could.
Right, because I mean,
Save as much meat as possible.
that's right. You're fighting the clock at that point to preserve as much meat as you can. So when you start walking, you know, we did our preliminary check where we thought he might be, like right from where I shot him, just from what I thought I heard. Didn't see him. We ended up grid searching the side of this mountain, and let me tell you, it's at least 30% grade everywhere. I mean, we walked that morning and that evening. I mean, we went up on that mountain, got up on the peak by 6 o'clock, and we didn't get back to the truck by 9 p.m. until 9 p.m.
Yeah.
We found the elk at around 3 p.m. after hiking around at least 20 miles. At least 20 miles.
And that's not including the 6 miles we hiked down off the mountain the night before, and the 6 miles we hiked back up, and then we were going to have to hike another 6 miles with all of the elk on it.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, you know, after not having water from 9 in the morning, delirious. I mean, it's 70 degrees, the sun's coming down. Every moment, doubt's creeping in. Are we not going to find them? Every moment, you're more thirsty. You know, by the last day, we all lost at least 10 pounds. I was closer to like 15 pounds lost over this week just from hiking. So we're nothing. We were shriveling and looking for this and demoralized because we're not going to find this elk that we shot the last night. Oh man, even knowing the direction because of that blood that Ian found, you know, that we knew where we were going. And then about an hour after that, Ian found him. Oh my gosh, the joy, man.
That was like, in my mind, it was the last time I was going to walk out there looking for something.
Right.
This was literally the last search before we would pack up and go home, because I mean, I actually was starting a new job that following Monday, and it's still a 22-hour drive home, and so
It's not like we could push this back any further than we did.
I mean, you owe it to that animal to give it every effort and opportunity to find it, because I mean, you took that animal's life, you know. So we were, the whole day was as focused as can be. I mean, we never stopped. We just moving, walking, bumping the legs up and down the hill, up and down the mountain. We gotta find it. These guys went to go grab all our stuff that we had set down, and I was there for had a moment, you know, by myself, you know, thank God for kind of putting that animal in front of me, from giving us that opportunity, and kind of giving us this whole opportunity of the whole week.
Yeah.
You know, so it was something, man. Mind you, 3 guys, not a shower for the last 8 days, and then we got this elk that had been sitting out for the better part of a day, and so lost a little bit of meat, but got the majority of it out of there. All of us more around 100 pounds of meat on our back, hike down out of here. We get back to the truck 9:30, 10 o'clock. Now you can't, I mean, a lot of people watching this are aware you can't take cerebral tissue out, or even bones at all, out of Colorado.
Across state lines.
Yeah, across state lines because CWD. So what I'm going to do with this, because we didn't have time to boil a skull and all that stuff to make a Euro mount, is they make faux Euro mounts. So just cut them off and then you attach it to a fake skull. So that's what we had time for, man, because we had to get back and work. So, but this right here is just testament that we had no guidance. We had never even stepped foot in any of these woods. I mean, this is the cheapest way anybody. I think it might be the cheapest way anybody from Michigan's ever killed an elk.
It might possibly be.
I mean, yeah. So the point is, if you put some work in and you need to condition yourself, go work out, go run, go hike, go put a sandbag in your backpack, run around, shoot your bow, be better. You know, if you want to shoot something at 60 yards, you better be shooting to 100. You know, practicing at 100. But the point is the barrier to entry is only as big as you allow it to be in your mind. Because if you really want to go, you can go. Because we went, and
we did go.
We came back with some antlers. So yeah. Point is, thank you to everyone that we didn't do a whole lot of hunting growing up, but I think we each had our own mentors in our life that guided us down that path, and then we kind of took the reins by ourselves the last few years and have chose to learn more about it, and you can do that if you want to. So yeah.
Thank you for watching. We're just some bow hunters from Michigan, trying to inspire the next generation of young hunters. So if you like this video, please hit that like button. It does a lot for us. Leave a comment. God bless. Thank you.
Thanks.